ask a question today that you all use lots of facilities in your daily day-to-day life, like you use transport facility, like you use water facility, sanitary facilities, sanitation, lots of facilities we are using in our daily day-to-day life. But can you tell me that, or do you know that who is providing these facilities to us? Means who is arranging these facilities to us? हाँ, मतलब वो चीज़ें खुद तो नहीं आती हैं, चाहे वो स्कूल हो या कोई अदर फैसिलिटी हो, खुद ब खुद तो कोई फैसिलिटी आती नहीं है, कोई ना कोई तो उनको अरेंज करता होगा, कोई ना कोई तो उन्हें प्रोवाइड करता है. देन who is providing these facilities to us? Obviously, now this is a very interesting question, and this is also our next chapter is also very interesting. It is also related to this topic, that who is providing facilities to us. So the name of our next civics chapter 9 is public facilities, यानी कि कौन हमें ये फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड कराता है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल रीड अ स्टोरी ऑफ अन्ना नगर. अन्ना नगर की स्टोरी है. Amu and Kumar are traveling through Chennai in a bus. As they go around the city, they observe the water facility available in different part of Chennai. तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने देखा कि वाटर फैसिलिटी जो है वो हर पार्ट्स में अवेलेबल है. तो हर एरिया में अलग अलग थी वाटर फैसिलिटी. जब वो ट्रैवलिंग कर रहे थे बस के थ्रू, तो उन्होंने देखा रामा गोपाला अन्ना नगर में वाटर फैसिलिटी कैसी थी. वहाँ पे देखो लोग पीपल आर वॉशिंग देयर कार्स विद लॉट्स ऑफ वाटर. in Padma's area, in Saidapet mein, people are standing in a row with lots of pots, and they are waiting for their turn to fill water. Means there is a, we can see that there is a shortage of water. And in Madhipakkan mein, you can see that there are some bottles, water bottles filled. Means people are buying water for drinking. And in Mailapur, water tanker, you can see that people are filling water from the water tankers. So means people are using different ways to arrange water for their daily day-to-day life. So water and the people of Chennai, what is the connection of the matlab why people, the distribution of water is not equal? Somewhere people are washing their car with lots of water, and somewhere people are waiting in a row for filling just a tap, just a pot. So we will read about this. यानी कि सीनियर गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल, we will understand this topic through a story. Senior government officials like Mr. Rama Gopala lives in Anna Nagar, Chennai. This area looks lush and green with lawn maintained by a generous spraying of water. And Bangalore here have tap water for major part of the day. On day when the water supply is inadequate, Mr. Rama Gopala speak to a senior official whom he know is the municipal water board, and a water tanker is easily arranged for his house. Okay, and like most areas of the city, Subramanian's apartment in Melapur suffer from water shortage. और उस दूसरे एरिया में वाटर शॉर्टेज होती है. दिस एरिया गेट्स म्यूनिसिपल वाटर वंस इन 2 days. 2 दिन में एक दिन आता है. अ प्राइवेट बोरवेल मीट्स सम ऑफ द रेसिडेंट्स वाटर नीड. Borewell's water is, however, brackish, so the residents use it in their toilet for washing. For other uses, water is purchased from tankers. Subramaniam spent up to 500 to 600 per month on buying water from the tankers for drinking water. Residents have installed water purification system in their homes. Means pure drinkable water is not provided in their area. And in Siva lives on rent on the first floor of the house in Madhipakkam and get water once in 4 days. 4 days में एक दिन उनके यहाँ पानी आता है. And shortage of water is one major reason why Shiva can't bring his family to Chennai for drinking. Shiva buys bottled water. ओके, सो उनके एरियाज में उन्हें पानी जो है वो खरीद के पीना पड़ता है. एंड Padma work as a domestic help in Saidapet and lives in the nearby slum. She pays a rent of rupees 650 for the hutment, which has neither a bathroom nor a tap connection. For 30 such hutmates, there is a common tap at one corner in which water comes from a borewell for 20 minutes twice daily. A family gets to fill a maximum of 3 buckets within this time. The same water is used for washing and drinking, and in summer the flow becomes a trickle, so that one family gets water only at the cost of another. People have to wait long hour for water tankers. Means this is the distribution of water. में सबको इक्वली नहीं अवेलेबल हो रही है वाटर फैसिलिटी भी, किसी को ज़्यादा मिल रही है और किसी को कम मिल रही है. वाटर इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ फंडामेंटल टू राइट. अब देखो वाटर जो है वो लाइफ के लिए नेसेसरी है, और ये हमारा राइट टू लाइफ जो है वो हमारा एक फंडामेंटल राइट है. So water is a part of the fundamental right to life. इसके बारे में we will read next. Water is essential for life and for good health. We all know that. And not only it is necessary for us to be able to meet our daily needs, but safe drinking water can prevent many water related diseases. So means if we are drinking safe water, यानी कि it can protect us from many water related diseases. And India has one of the largest number of cases of diseases such as diarrhea, dysentery, cholera. Over 1,600 Indians, most of them children below the age of 5, reportedly die every day because of water related diseases. Means it is very necessary for us to drink a clean water and safe water. These deaths can be prevented if people have access to safe drinking water. And the Constitution of India recognized the right to water as being a part of the right to life under Article 21. Okay, so this is a very important point of this chapter. The Constitution of India recognized the right to water as being a part of the right to life under Article 21. This means that it is the right of every person, whether rich or poor, to have sufficient amount of water to fulfill his or her daily needs at a price that he or she can afford. In other words, there should be universal access to water. There have been several courts cases in which both the High Courts and the Supreme Court have held that the right to safe drinking water is a fundamental right. More recently, in 2007, the Andhra Pradesh High Court restated this while hearing a case based on a letter written by a village of Mehboob district on the contaminate of drinking water. The villagers' complaint was that a textile company was discharging poisonous chemical into a stream near his village, contaminating groundwater, which was the source of irrigation and drinking water. The judges directed the Mehboob district collector to supply 25 liters of water to each person in the village. Means we can demand water facility from the government if we are not getting pure water, but it is our right. Like the people of the Mehboob Nagar, they get demand from the High Court for the drinkable water, and the government provide them 25 liter of water for each family, each person of the village. So now you can understand that what is public facilities. Public facilities like water, there are other essential facilities that need to be provided for everyone. सिर्फ यही नहीं, water ही नहीं, इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी facilities हैं. Last year you read about 2 other such facilities, healthcare and sanitation. Similarly, there are things like electricity, public transport, school and colleges that are also necessary. These are known as public facilities. The important characteristics of a public facility is that once it is provided, its benefits can be shared by many people. For instance, a school in the village will be enable many children to get educated. Similarly, the supply of electricity to an area can be useful for many people. Farmers can run pump sets to irrigate their fields. People can open small workshop that run on electricity. Students will find it easier to study, and most people in the village will benefit in some way or the other. Means public facilities can help us in lots of ways. The government, what is the government rule to provide these facilities to common people? What is the role of government? Given that public facilities are so important and someone must carry the responsibility of providing these to the people, the someone is the government. Okay, one of the most important function of the government is to ensure that these public facilities are made available to everyone. Let us try and understand why the government and only the government must bear this responsibility. Okay, so we have seen that private companies operate the profit in the market. You read about this in the chapter on the story of a shirt in your class 7th book. In most of the public facility, there is no profit to be had. For example, what profit can accrue to a company for keeping the drains clean or running an anti-malaria campaign? A private company will probably not be interested in undertaking such work. But for other public facilities such as school and hospital, private companies may will be interested. We have many of these, particularly in large cities. Similarly, if you are living in a city, you will have seen private companies supplying water through tankers or supplying drinking water in sealed bottles. In such cases, private companies provide public facilities but at a price that only one people can afford. Hence, this facility is not available to all at an affordable rate. If we go by the rule that people will get as much as they can pay for, then many people who cannot afford to pay for such facilities will be deprived to the opportunity to live a decent life. So, clearly this is not a desirable option. Public facility relate to people's basic needs. Any modern society require that these facilities are provided so that people's basic needs are met. The right to life that the Constitution guarantee is for all persons living in this country. Thus, a responsibility to provide public facility therefore must be that the government. Next topic is water supply to Chennai. Is it available to all? While there is no doubt that public facilities should be made available to all, okay, and in reality we see that there is a great shortage of such facilities. In the rest of this chapter, we will read about the provision of water, which, as we have seen, is a public facility of great importance. Water supply in Chennai, as we saw at the beginning of the chapter, is marked by shortage. Municipal supply meet only about half the need of the people in the city on the average. There are areas which get water more regularly than others. Those areas that are close to the storage points get more water, whereas colonies further away receive less water. The burden of shortfalls in water supply falls mostly on the poor. Means जो rich people है anyhow they can get water, but the burden comes on the poor people, and the middle class, when faced with water shortage, are able to cope through a variety of private means such as digging borewell, buying water from tankers, and using bottled water for drinking. Apart from the availability of water, access to safe drinking water is also available to some, and this depends on what one can afford. Once again, the wealthy have more choice thanks to the booming market in bottled water and water purifier. People who can afford it have safe drinking water, whereas the poor are again left out. In reality, therefore, it seems that it is only people with money who have the right to water. A far cry from a goal of universe access to sufficient and safe water. In search of alternative. The situation in Chennai is not unique. A similar scenario of shortage and acute crisis during the summer month is common in other cities of India. The shortage in municipal water is increasingly being filled by an expansion of private companies who are selling water for profit. Also common are the greater inequality in water use. The supply of water per person in an urban area in India should be about 135 liter per day. About 7 bucket means. A standard set by the Urban Water Commissions, whereas people in slums have to make do with less than 20 liter a day per person. One bucket. People living in luxury hotels may consume as much as 1600 liter, यानी कि 80 buckets of water per day. So, a shortage of municipal water is often taken as a sign of failure of the government. Some people argue that since the government is unable to supply the amount of water that is needed and many of the municipal water department are running at a loss, we should allow private company to take over the task of water supply. According to them, private company can perform better. Consider the following facts. Fact number 1 is, throughout the world, water supply is a function of the government. There are very few instances of private water supply. There are areas in the world where public water supply are achieved universal access. So, public water supply is in Porto Alegre. Porto Alegre is a city in Brazil. Though there are many poor people in the city, what is remarkable is that it has a far lower number of infant deaths as compared to most other cities in the world. The city's water department has achieved universal access to safe water, and this is the main reason behind the lower number of infant deaths. The average price of water is kept low, and the poor are charged half the basic rate. Whatever profit the department makes is used to improve the water supply. The working of the water department is transparent and people can have a direct say in deciding which projects and department should taken up. Through the process of public meeting, people hear what the managers have to say and also vote on their priorities. So this is the, you can see that what is the condition in the other countries about the water. Third point is, in a few cases where the responsibility of water supply was handed over the private companies, there was a steep rise in the price of water, okay, making it unaffordable for many. Cities saw huge protests with riots breaking out in places like बोलीविया, forcing the government take back the service from private hands. Means बहुत सारे places में ऐसा हुआ है that जहाँ पे water facility जो है वो private companies को दे दिए गए कि वो provide कराएंगे, और जिससे कि वो rate जो है water के वो तेज़ी से बढ़ते जाते हैं और उससे जो है situation जो है और भी worst हो जाती है. Within India, there are cases of success in government water department. Though these are few in number and limited to certain areas of their work, the water supply department in Mumbai raises enough money through water charges to cover its expense on supplying water in Hyderabad. A recent report shows that the department has increased coverage and improved performance in revenue collection. In Chennai, the department has taken several initiatives for harvesting rainwater to increase the level of groundwater, and it has also used the service of private companies for transporting and distributing water. About the government water supply department decides the rate for water tankers and gives them permission to operate. Hence, they are called no contract. Next facility is extending sanitation facility. Sanitation facility is also very important for a good health of the country. So, this is the first paragraph of this topic. Latrines for us, they exclaimed, is astonishment. We go and perform such our functions out in the open. Latrines are for you big people. Means in this chapter, in this paragraph, this is the paragraph of Mahatma Gandhi recounting untouchable grievance, Rajkot Sanitation Committee 1896. This paragraph is showing the mentality of the people who are not using proper sanitation facility. So what they are thinking, that latrines for us, they exclaimed in astonishment. We go and perform our functions out in the open, and latrines are for you big peoples. Besides safe drinking water, sanitation is a must in prevention of waterborne disease. However, the sanitation coverage in India is even lower than that of water. Official figures for 2001 show that 68% of the households in India have access to drinking water and about 36% have access to sanitation toilet facility within the premises of residents. Once again, it is the poor, both in the rural and urban area, who lack access to sanitation. Sulabh. What is Sulabh? Sulabh, a non government organization, has been working for 3 decades to address the problems of sanitation facing low caste, low income people in India. It has constructed more than 7,500 public toilet blocks and 1.2 million private toilets, given access to sanitation to 10 million people. The majority of the users of Sula facilities are from the poor working classes. Sulabh enters into contracts with municipalities or other local authorities to construct toilet blocks with government funds. Local authorities provide land and funds for setting up the service, whereas maintenance costs are sometimes financed through user charges. For example, rupees 1 is charged for use of the latrine in the cities. Next time you see a Sulabh toilet, you might want to find out yourself how it functions. Next we will read the conclusion of this chapter. Public facilities relate to our basic needs, and the Indian Constitution recognizes the right to water, health, education, etc. as being a part of right to life. Thus, one of the major role of the government is to ensure adequate public facilities for everyone. But progress on this front has been far from satisfactory. There is a shortage of supply and there are inequalities in distribution. Compared to the metros and large cities, towns and villages are underprovided. Compared to wealthy localities, the poorer localities are underserviced. Handling these facilities to private companies may not be the answer. Any solution needs to take account to the important facts that every citizen of the country has a right to these facilities, which should be provided to her or him in an equitable manner.